Yo, back up now and give my brother's room. The fuse is lit and I'm about to start the IGN UK podcast.
One of the worst things that's ever happened next to me.
Shut up, that was awesome.
I kind of loved it. Can we do that every single podcast now? Can we make Alex introduce it in exactly? We already established that he's a rapper / vigilante in his spare time a couple of podcasts ago. I feel like that intro would work.
Maybe comes on and goes, Selector!
I'll do a different Will Smith lyric every single time. But my name is Gav Murphy. To my right is...
Joseph Scrabbles.
There you go. And to my left is...
Alysia, Judge.
There we go, guys.
That was slightly robotic.
There we go. Done. Let's go home.
That is your podcast for this week.
We done a podcast.
Yay!
Of course not. There's lots to get through, including, Joe, what the frick did we do last night?
We crossed the length and breadth of a 5-kilometre circle in London, doing exercises and catching Pokemon because the world's gone mad and no one's paying attention to it because there's Pokemon to catch.
Exactly. Like Pokemon Go is still a massive thing.
It's such a good idea, and I really hoped there was someone behind you just yelling "Go, go, go, go" as he ran to be like super...
Well, there was a guy who kept making Pokemon puns, like our
we should say
personal
as
trainer.
well. So basically, we
explain what it was.
We did a 5K run with Virgin Active, and basically they organised a 5K run with interval training, sort of after each K. But also basically you run for 1 kilometre. Stop to do some high intensity interval training with one of their personal trainers, but they'd also gone round just before and dropped lures on where we were doing that training. So you do like 3 minutes of high intensity training, and then you'd also be able to catch loads of Pokemon afterwards as well.
How long does the lure last for?
30
half
minutes.
an hour.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. So it was really like well timed. You had to. Keep
there
up
was a
with
guy
the
on a bike who was going ahead and dropping the lures as we went. And gave us water.
I'd want to be that guy. That sounds like a fun job.
It was good.
It was really good, wasn't it?
And there was something really odd about running around and having the whole group reacting to Pokemon appearing around
that was
them.
Really fun.
There's one great bit on Blackfriars Bridge. We're surrounded by people I think going home from work probably, and the personal trainer guy, this hench dude in an Ash Ketchum cat. Just started screaming, "Pharaoh on the bridge!" And it was like terrorism was happening. It was nuts.
Yeah, that was really good. I think the really good thing about it, because obviously we're massive dweebs, but and we've been playing it, but the coolest thing was just seeing actual normies people, and people who could probably function.
Accountants. There was an accountant doing it.
It was an accountant. You had explained to me that he was an accountant because he told me his job, and I was like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. What was his job?
KPMG accountant.
KPMG.
KPMG is the company.
I was thinking KGB.
KGB accountant.
Is he allowed to just tell us?
Yes, we spent a lot on guns.
But it was awesome. So me, Joe, and Rory did it. We run around London. And we filmed it, so we might put a video up at some point.
Yeah.
Because basically we set ourselves a little challenge and we won't give away who did the best in the challenge, but we set ourselves a little challenge on who could catch the highest CP Pokemon.
Oh,
what I will give away is I was in front for a long time.
Okay.
And then I wasn't.
Yes, very sudden.
Spoiler alert.
Spectacularly wasn't
and
as
unexpectedly.
Well, which was really good.
Yeah, my favourite bit was the personal trainer we had who had adopted Pokemon. He genuinely really liked Pokemon. It became clear very quickly that it was not an act, which I just cynically I was like, oh, this guy doesn't give a shit. He's just here for a payday. Quick buck. And it turns out he was super into it, and he was like, legs like Dodgeos, guys.
Yeah.
Which was legs like Dodgeos.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he just kept making Pokemon pun names. It was really good.
It sounds like it's awful, but it actually was really good.
It was really heartwarming as well. Everyone felt really good, and everyone's going did you get that Electabuzz?
Well, I think the...
I was just going to say that's really nice, because I've been and done these exercise things before, and you always are in your own little world of pain, locked in your sweat, and you never really talk to the person next to you, and then everyone kind of shuffles off at the end and don't talk to each other. But this sounds like a kind of class where everyone was talking to each other.
It was great.
It was really good. We spoke to quite a lot of people. At one point you had to pair off. So you and Rory paired off, and I went with a complete stranger. We were doing press-ups and high-fives. And I was press-ups and high-fiving this one guy.
That's really good.
It was
I've
good.
never done more press-ups because I wanted to keep up with Rory and get the high-fives going. Because I knew Rory would be devastated if he missed a high-five.
But there was this one really awesome bit where we basically stopped on the South Bank. Was it not South Bank? It was Thames.
Around there.
Around the Thames. And basically...
That river.
we had to do was it burpees or push-ups at some point?
We had to do
It
loads.
was one of these things anyway, or mountain climbers possibly. But there was a squirtle. Just
so
appeared.
annoying.
So Rory was filming. I stopped doing the exercise so I could catch the squirtle. But Joe was like, I don't know, too nice to stop.
Well, I wasn't gonna-
Because the guy was like, guys, you do your exercise, then you catch your Pokemon. But I was like,
living up to the
F this.
idea of the thing. I
Yeah.
was happy that I would get a Squirtle at the end of it, and I didn't because he ran away.
But you got one later on though, right?
Yeah, I did get one later on.
Good, yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, there's a brilliant bit in the video that we'll put
Yeah.
up where it is you two catching a Squirtle, and then I notice, like, as I'm doing a plank, like looking around, just like, you fucking.
That was really funny. But it was good, and we like at the end of it, we were like, let's do more of this. We have to.
Yeah,
do
we were
more.
like planning our own Pokemon runs.
Maybe we should do our own, but then someone needs to be the person on the bike running ahead
Yeah.
with the lure.
Well, you don't need the lure. We just stop and
Yeah,
catch
you
some
don't
Pokemon.
actually, I suppose.
No, just-
I don't know how much that actually helped.
No, like-
although to be fair, every time we got to a stop, we did get a really good Pokemon.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
I
But
think-
we got a lot on the run as well.
Because I always find, because we work in Aldgate East, and there's always a lure on Aldgate East.
Yeah,
I've
always.
never caught something. Oh no, I caught Meowthia this morning. Other than that,
That's
I've never
amazing.
caught something decent.
But I
there,
think
yeah.
that we're in a really bad area. Like whenever
in a proper dead zone.
It's such a dead zone. I mean, the best Pokemon I've caught was a Raticate, which literally I catch enough Rattatas to have at least 7
Yeah,
Raticates.
yeah.
It's weird how Pokemon Go's changed my perception of London. Like before, we've got a pub downstairs from the office, which is really nice, and we go there
Not?
quite a lot.
It's a shithole.
Well, no, as in it's really nice to have a pub downstairs.
All right, yeah,
That's
yeah.
all right.
Go for a drink after
I
work.
hate it.
Do
They've
you?
got Punk IPA on tap. It's nice.
Yeah, but that'll go.
Anyway,
It's a guest ale,
Beyond
Joe. It's a
discussing-
guest ale.
beyond discussing this, I always thought it was nice that we had a pub downstairs, but that pub is not a Pokestop.
No,
and it
it's not.
ruins my day every time I'm
Is the
here.
craft beer company around the corner,
I
Pokestop?
don't think it is now.
Shite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Because I want to make that our new local.
Yeah.
I want to stop going to the one downstairs, start going to the old man pub that's dark and barely any sunlight gets in.
There's a million beers.
You can sit in the corner and drink 9% gravy.
It's the size of 2 Wembleys downstairs.
Yeah. It is a size 2 every
It's not
downstairs.
the
So that's
size
good.
of 2 bloody.
But yeah, that's our Pokemon running about thing. Maybe we'll start doing an IGN Pokemon run around London.
I'd be
that
well
would
up for
actually
that.
be really good.
I'd be
That
well
would
up
be
for
You'd
that.
be a
really
good
good.
personal trainer.
I don't know.
I reckon you
I
could
feel
G
like
people up.
You
I
are.
could
You're the
definitely G people up,
fittest out of all of
but
us.
I could G people up, but I don't have the good.
But you're not going to be doing handstands on
literally-
South Bank.
I've
I
got-
might be doing handstand, which this guy was doing.
Seriously.
Yeah, I've got an awesome photo of it.
I've got an image now though of Krupa just in a plank and doing
Yeah.
press ups, and you standing him over, going, "G up, lad, G up, G up."
Well, there we are.
That's a weird
fine.
image.
Weird image. It's in my head now, burned in my retina.
What else we doing this week? Star Wars. We did a Star Wars. We had Star Wars Celebration last weekend. That was amazing.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
That was
beautiful.
another overwhelmingly positive event.
Yeah.
Things just keep happening that are nice. Don't
Everything,
expect it. I go in-
everything on my running order this week, including Triple X3.
Well,
Do you know what?
we'll
Do you know
get to
what?
that.
But this is such the games industry, isn't it?
Fantastic.
It's like our little industry. Our news is amazing. We're super happy. There's lots of games coming out. People are uniting under
Yeah.
the banner of small animals. Like and then
Outside
rest
of
the
nerd-
world.
yeah, outside of nerd
everything's
culture.
going to shit.
Everything is effed up.
But it's weird 'cause it's
inside,
usually the other way around.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, that's really good.
Yeah.
We had if you came and said hello during Star Wars Celebration, I think
Hmm.
we probably had an amazing time saying hello to you.
We've got an email from a man who said hello.
Really? I posed for a lot of photos, and I'm really sorry to anyone because I can only do one face-it photo.
I know
which is,
exactly what the face. That's always that face.
It's so annoying.
It's such a good face, though.
It is a nice face.
It is
Yeah,
a really
but
good
me
face.
pleased.
Yeah, but when you've done it like a lot throughout the day, you didn't put your phone on airplane mode.
What?
You absolutely
getting-
kidding me?
I'm very well connected.
The podcast listeners have just had a.
That's fine.
Shit as that I've got to put up
fine, mate.
with.
Don't worry
What was the
about
coolest thing you saw at Star Wars Celebration? Alysia. Done you. Absolutely done you.
My coolest thing literally happened after I asked Joe on that because I was
yeah.
only there for one day, the final day,
Yeah.
which was the most fun day because it was the day where we were being really silly and doing all the silly videos.
Yeah.
But so Joe had already had a day there. I was like, oh, what was like the coolest thing that you saw yesterday? And he was like, well, I mean, it was probably Warwick Davis riding past on a Segway. And I was like, no way. That sounds so cool. I'd love to see that. Literally 2 minutes later, we walked on a little bit further and Warwick Davis just goes,
came through the bag check
on the Segway.
At the media door.
But then he was like, we had to line up for the bags like to get them like, so, and he was right behind us. And I was like, I was not keeping my cool. I was like, Joe, Warwick Davis is behind us and he's on a Segway.
Does Warwick Davis have to have his bag checked?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No way.
he had to
Of course
like
he
queue up
does.
with us for the Segway. It
They're
was
not
like,
checking Wicket's bag.
They're checking it thoroughly, from what I could tell.
See, because I thought when you were saying that,
Untrustworthy.
I thought you were saying he was going through the bag check, and I was like, if this was an episode of 24, that's who I would turn first.
You'd turn Davis.
I would turn Warwick Davis, and then put a bomb on him.
Yeah, well.
And then he'll be... Actually, that'd be really good bomb, because he'll be on his little Segway, and you can run it into anyone.
You're thinking of it like Diva's Ultimate
Yeah.
in
I'll be like,
Overwatch.
Run that into J.J. Abrams. That'll learn him.
Wow, weird thing to think about.
He wasn't it. So
But
it's
yeah,
fine.
anyway, the bomb wasn't in his bag because
Bomb
I
wasn't
saw
in
it
his
get
bag.
checked.
Yeah,
I watched
it
very
was not.
closely just to see if
No.
they thought if he had a knife.
Yeah.
But he did not. But no, I mean that was the kind of first cool thing I saw, but it's kind of joint second with when we stood in a replica set of Endor.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that was so good.
It was so good.
For anyone who didn't go, they've released, or they're releasing a new set of Star Wars themed drones, and they had like a big Death Star trench with a like a X-wings versus TIE Advanced. Weirdly, loads of Vaders having a fight, and then in the next room they just got trees and mud and leaves, and it was an
That's
actual
awesome.
forest
and it
in the convention centre.
It smelled
Yeah, it
of
smelled
what
really good.
Endor would smell like. You walked in, and in those air freshener ads, you did the air freshener face,
Yeah.
where you just kind of go.
But
it was
we
amazing.
got really lucky and were allowed to go behind the scenes because
Yeah.
you're meant to be
Amazing.
behind netting.
But they let
we
us
got in and they flew the speeders around us. And
Yeah.
stuff.
We sat
It was
on a log
incredible.
in Endor, and then
did.
we sat on a rock. We sat on all the Endor things.
One of the drone guys kept talking about how the fact that it smelled like a forest made him want to have a piss in it all the time.
Oh my God, I'd
it was
forgotten
really
about
strange.
that.
He was just like,
Yes. That's
yeah,
mad.
it really makes you want to just go for
Yeah,
a
that
wee.
was so weird.
You're like,
And then,
why?
we were very British and we thought we'd carry on the small talk. He'd chosen the small talk subject, so we were like, we'll run with this. And then we were like, great, yeah, so I'm maybe marking your territory in Endor. And then we had this really strange conversation.
When we left, I shook his hand and said, "Please don't piss," and left. I thought that's the coolest closing line I've ever had.
See, I got to see it, but I got to see it from behind the netting.
Netting,
and
yeah.
the first one we saw was the trench one, and I had a big problem with that.
It was too big for the tiny drones.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, and also, there's a Death Star hanging above
this is the
it.
problem I had. So they'd recreated the trench of the Death Star, and then there's a Death Star hanging above it as well.
Yeah.
What is
Double
going on?
Death Star.
Bollocks!
Episode 8.
Get out.
Episode 8 revealed.
There was that one, but then so I was in the Endor one. I was filming, and I basically got to film in the day and then got to film in the evening again with our colleague Eric Goldman, who was over from the States and is a lovely person. And so I was filming. I said, as we were walking down, I said, "Oh, Eric," because I saw where they take off. I said, "Eric, if you come down here, this is kind of where they take off, and you can see them a little bit better. Because once they get out there, it's really hard to sort of keep an eye on them." And he was like, "Okay, cool." So he came down and we stood there. And as we were filming, guess who came in to watch as well?
Mark Hamill.
Gareth Edwards, the director of Rogue One.
no
So he came in
way.
to start looking at the things, and he was like standing next to me. So I was filming a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, bollocks this!" I stopped filming.
Do you want to do this, mate?
He was filming with his mobile phone, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to film some of that." So I said, "Oh, hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, and he was like, "This is amazing, isn't it?" And he was like, and then he goes, two things. How much are they, and when can I get one?
Nice.
So he had like a little chat with him about that and
cool.
about things. That was quite nice.
In fairness, they are bloody amazing. Like, we went out afterwards to look at the actual drone toys themselves, and like even the packaging.
Oh, the packaging's amazing.
Is stunning. So like when you get the box, when you open it, like there's this really slow like light show where basically all inside it's made of like this, not glass, but like,
Perspex type stuff.
Perspex type glass that houses this incredibly beautiful drone. And then there's like a in the outside, you can take off a little like coin, and then you
And
like
they keep talking about nanoparticles.
nanoparticles. It's got nanoparticle technology, which I swear
I thought they were taking the piss when they said that.
Yeah.
It was actually real, isn't
Genuinely,
it?
it's a real
Same.
thing,
I thought this
apparently.
was kind of like a deploy the algorithm
Yeah, I
style.
thought they were talking about
what
midichlorians. I was
is
like,
this?
it's all bollocks.
It's all mental, but no, it's really cool. So you wave the coin against the drone, and suddenly this like personalized serial number thing appears on it. Just
Yeah.
like the attention to detail of the packaging is really,
Plays little
really cool.
music.
Yeah. The
Plays music
as well.
as you lift the box art off.
Yeah, me and Krupa have done a video of
It's
it.
quite a tinny speaker, though, isn't
It is, yeah. but it is in a box.
Yeah,
But
I know,
it
it's
plays
incredible.
music, Joe. You
I know.
ungrateful.
It's
kid.
incredible. But the guy, it looks so amazing. Then just to hear like,
It's like a MIDI. It's like bam, 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 bam. It's not like that. But yeah, it's awesome. They were really,
amazing.
really good.
And apparently, there's secrets in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's stuff about the boxes they weren't telling us. Like we had a chat with the CEO of the company.
More about the boxes.
Apparently, like
Always with the boxes, Joe.
Apparently, something's in it is incredible that they weren't showing off. And I was like, "You're
Blood.
talking it as if like the box has as much technology as the drones." And he was like, "Yeah, kind
Well,
of."
the box. To be fair, like they look so good in the box, and I think if
Yeah.
if you're a nerd, then that's probably if you're a nerd and not a drone pilot, which let's be honest, probably 99% of the people who are buying those things are going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be in a box for a lot of time, so it's cool to have it as an actual thing. Like, I'd love if we could get one here.
Oh my
Like,
goodness!
it was so cool.
I want one so badly.
Yeah, I really do.
Get
But
all four.
All I
well,
want
what
for
else did I see that was cool? I
Christmas-
think the cool stuff that I saw was it was just people.
Yeah.
I think like I've never been at a convention before where it was all centered around one thing.
You were talking about this, and it was
Yeah.
a really good point.
And it's like, because usually you go to Comic Cons or you go to like, Hyper Japan or something like that, where everything is loads of different things going on.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of like comics, there's stuff there. If you're a fan of like sci-fi or Star Trek, all the different things. Because it was just Star Wars, everyone was there. It's got this one collective interest.
Well, it's kind of the
which
same
is
as our
Star Wars.
Pokemon run.
Yeah,
where it was like we were all there just
absolutely,
for one thing, and everyone, all those like weird social barriers broke down because
Yeah.
everyone could just be like, "Isn't this cool?"
Suddenly,
Pokemon awesome?
everyone
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a common connection. Like
Yeah.
you've already established that kind of
Yeah.
link.
And like, the most heartwarming thing for me was just like having that Rey being a strong female role model thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally vindicated, because the number of little girls who were just like walking
Yeah.
around dressed up as Rey doing fucking badass stuff the whole
Yeah.
time, and it just makes you go, "Yeah, this is brilliant."
Yeah.
Like, the idea that like anyone ever complained about this is mad to me now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the coolest thing I saw was this kid in a Boba Fett, really good like Mandalorian armor walking around.
Yeah.
It was like, that's cool, like properly swagging about. And then took off their helmet. It was like this little girl just looking like fucking angry at everyone. I was like, that's amazing. That's
That's
the coolest thing.
That's awesome.
It was so nice. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just a really good atmosphere the whole time.
Really enjoyed it.
It was lovely. Even like I got a tattoo on the Sunday morning,
Yeah, you
which
did.
was amazing. It was a tattoo that Krupa designed for me. It started off as a joke on Rebel Base like a year ago, and all came to fruition at Star Wars Celebration 2. Tattooed by an amazing person called Clara Sinclair, who ended up going on to win a Star Wars competition that day
she?
for another tattoo that she'd done. Yeah,
Amazing.
which
No
is
way.
awesome. But yeah, I've had a bunch of tattoos, and I think she was this is probably the one that I've sort of bled least and scabbed up the least. So that's good.
Nice.
High class work.
As soon as it stops scabbing, maybe I'll put a photo of it. Well, we did a couple of videos and stuff of it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. It was just a lovely, lovely time.
And considering like that is an event just built around really selling you stuff. Like
Absolutely.
90% of the stuff there is just really expensive merch
Oh,
stalls.
Yeah.
The
so
fact that we came away going like, yeah, this was brilliant.
It's lovely,
It's
yeah.
testament to how good that audience was. It was great. It was a really good time.
For sure. Speaking of really good things, a new trailer.
I know
dropped
what you're
a
moving
new
on.
trailer dropped this week. Was it the trailer for season 2 of Narcos? Yes, it did drop, but we're not going to talk about it because there was another bigger trailer. Magnificent Seven? No, not that either, guys. A different trailer. Triple X: The Return of Xander Cage.
God, it's so shit.
Probably the best trailer we've ever seen at
You're
IGN.
an absolute maniac.
I would think. I mean, I think that kind of goes without saying.
I know you love Vin Diesel, and I know we have video evidence of him being an excellent person, and
Yeah.
I'm sure, he's brilliant. But that trailer is so poor. I do not understand.
I wouldn't say it's poor. I'd say that
It's all right if you don't get it, Joe. It's all right if you don't understand what's going on.
Everyone speaks in taglines. Nothing makes sense.
Just like real life.
Oh yeah, no. The bit that's okay. The bit that I would ascribe poor to is the end where it's got what's her face from Orange Is the New Black, who's looking down the barrel of a gun, who just goes
guns, and global domination.
Girls and global domination. It's like as she says guns, there's like some people blowing up. Some girls in bikinis on the beach, and global domination. And
then it's just fucking Vin Diesel looking slightly more overweight than he used to, being like,
just a little bit.
That's how everyone talks. When I come in the morning, I'm like, tea, videos, chatting with Rory. Like that's how I talk. That's how everyone talks. You're forgetting this. I think it's nailed. It's coming out in January, so early Oscar contender, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is Oscar bait, if I've ever seen it.
Do you know what my second favourite part of that trailer was? It's where this woman is clearly talking about how they need to hire Vin Diesel again. To just
Toni Collette.
And
was it?
Yeah.
That was not Toni Collette.
I'm 60% positive.
We had an amazing thing this week that you just reminded me of, where Rory made a video and said immediately that it would get 2 million views.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, I don't know, Rory. So he said 1 million views. It's not done one.
No, it's just the way that you said it. I thought it was quite obviously Toni Collette.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. But
upcoming projects, XXX, The Return of Xander Cage.
Amazing.
Nice.
I knew it was.
So they're there, and they're
She's
down the barrel of the camera, and they say, "We need someone who does things differently," in this epic voice. And then
we'll get the same guy we got in the last two films.
No, it's even better than that. It flicks back to that same guy that they've had in the last 2 films.
It wasn't in the last 2 films.
He
was only in one.
He wasn't the original XXX.
He was in the original, and then Ice Cube took over from him.
Oh, fucking hell. What a stupid series.
Come on, guys.
Well.
Come on, guys. Keep up.
He didn't make even a cameo appearance in XXX 2.
I can't remember now.
Weird.
He had stuff on. Would
you like me to finish my story while you guys are derailing the joke? And then, it switches, and it's just Vin Diesel who is skiing down a leafy forest without snow. And if there's ever anyone who does things differently, it's probably a man who skis without ice.
Well, he also drives a motorbike across the ocean like he's skipping a stone and like does a ramp off a wave.
Works, Joe. Just because you don't understand physics, don't have a go with Vin Diesel.
It's
all right?
Absolutely pathetic. It's a stupid looking film for morons.
Personally, I can't wait for the film. I think it's gonna silence the haters.
I look forward to being proved wrong.
Do you know what? You're like those scumbags that judged Ghostbusters before it came out.
No, I'm not.
You're organising. It's an orchestrated hate campaign that you are doing against Vin Diesel and his kind.
Look, I just wish...
Whatever he is...
I just think they've really...
Spanish.
They've hurt the legacy of the XXX franchise.
You said to me...
They've ruined my childhood where I looked at Ice Cube and I thought, that's someone I can relate to.
You said to me as I walked in yesterday, before the trailer dropped, you said to me, God, I hate bald people. And they shouldn't be allowed to be in films. They shouldn't be allowed to remake films.
I stand by that because they make DOP's lives hell. The amount of shine that they have to deal with on those.
Vin Diesel doesn't shine.
Selfish men. Vin Diesel doesn't shine.
I mean, obviously he shines when he's acting.
He's got like the duck's quack of a head. Yeah. Like they don't echo and he doesn't shine.
That's exactly right.
Physics.
He's matte.
He's
constantly matte.
He sands down his head every day.
Even when he's boiling and sweating.
Absolutely.
Absolute matte.
No sheen.
But I'm excited for XXX 3. I can't believe it's not coming out this year. Got to wait all the way until January.
Did you even know it was coming out before yesterday?
Yeah.
You knew that film was
Yeah, but I just hadn't seen any footage from it. I think at some point we were offered a set visit.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I saw an email come through. It was like, hey guys, who wants to do the set visit? And I was like,
you
could have seen
obviously this is going to happen.
Live
and then
jungle skiing.
And then I saw an email from either Krupa or Tilly going, oh, I think we'll pass on this one. And that's why...
I quit.
And that's why I'll never truly love them. So there we are. Another film, which I don't know if it's as good as XXX, if anything can be as good as XXX or Return of Xander Cage.
Trailers were as bad.
Listen.
They were bad.
The first trailer was bad. Anyway, listen.
But I want
Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
Star Trek Beyond.
Which had
a bad first trailer, a really good second trailer. I think.
So I didn't watch either of the trailers because I am a massive Star Trek fan, and
If you were that big, you would have watched them, surely.
No, I'm too big a fan
I know,
to
I
want
think there's
to
a point at
watch
which
the
you-
trailer.
Really?
There's literally a point where you just kind of go,
If you
I
like-
don't.
If you're just going to watch something.
No, it's where you kind of go.
won't be able to-
You don't
if I
want
was a big
any
fan, I wouldn't be able to help
spoilers.
myself.
No, you don't want any spoilers. You don't want. It's in the same way that you wait until Christmas Day to open your Christmas presents.
Yes.
It's that sense of I wanted it to just experience it on the day, and also not be influenced. I didn't look up any media. Didn't look up any coverage. Just wanted to have own opinion, and it was amazing. It was so good.
So I gave you my tickets.
You did.
So rather
Thank
than
you
go
so
see Star
much.
Trek Beyond, I went running with these Vin Diesel hating bozos. But I'm glad it was really good because all I've heard is really good things.
Yeah, it's like so it's had a shift in tone because obviously Star Trek Into Darkness was kind of
Boring.
Shite.
yeah, those are two words that I think people said, but maybe not those quite words in their reviews. But it was very much people kind of thought that it was a very dark tone, funnily
Yeah.
enough, and what made the original Star Trek series and kind of like the original Star Trek movie or the first movie in J.J. Abrams' new series kind of stand out was this kind of tone that was very jokey almost, kind of like it was a lot more jovial and then
Vibrant.
and then they went like super serious and people didn't really like that, and so what they've tried
Lots
to
of
do
innocent people die into
lots
Darkness.
of
mad.
innocent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Khan, but the issue with Khan in the second movie was more just the fact that in a TV series you'd had ages and ages and ages to fall in love with these characters. So when Khan ripped through the kind of the crew, it was so distressing. Whereas in the film, it just feels really like, even when they're like main members of the crew, you've only really been seeing them acting for like an hour, and so it just feels like more of a plot point.
Yeah, I think like for me, like it's meant to. The thing that I had a problem with it was meant to be like this whole new adventure thing. They were like going off on these different new adventures, and then you just get a baddie that we already know and we already have preconceptions for, which is kind of I was like, why have you done this? And also, he was a good enough baddie without actually being Khan.
And there's literally the bit where Leonard Nimoy turns up and goes, he's awful. Don't be nice to him. And then they just ignore him. So it's useless advice. Also, that film has some of the worst foreshadowing I've ever seen. The bit with the Tribble, where Bones, who has done absolutely nothing for the entire thing, is asked what he's doing, and he's like, I think this unconnected plot point has regenerative powers.
Yeah.
And then just like fucks off for an hour.
Yeah.
And then comes back and saves the day, and that's the end of the film.
He is the best thing in those films as well.
Carl Urban.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny.
He's fantastic.
He seems like a really grumpy man, and I quite like that.
I don't think he is. I think from all I've heard from different people, he's very nice.
Is he?
Yes.
I mean, I was going to say it's good that he's grumpy. I like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't treat it with respect. That's what I want.
Well, if you don't like baddies that you know a lot about and that you've seen before, then you'll really like the new baddie in this one. He's called Crawl, and there was a reference actually to Crawl like ages ago in Star Trek lore, but it's nothing to do with that. He's this brand new guy played by Idris Elba, and he has one of the best entrances I've ever seen as a supervillain. It's like evil incarnate.
Does he come in like Hulk Hogan?
It's
Like pumping up the crowds. Like, cars crashing down on the
Enterprise
Is it like that?
It's pretty badass.
I couldn't deal with you
Pretty
staring
badass.
directly into my eyes during that.
Whilst pumping the crowd.
That's too much. That really works.
It's really, really good. And the only downside, and if you really don't want any Star Trek spoilers, then I guess shut your ears. It's not a massive spoiler. It's not a massive spoiler at all. But like,
Who are you talking to then?
It's
I don't want to.
okay. Well,
Let's not do it. Let's not do it because the film's not even out yet.
It's not a massive spoiler. It's more just like
I don't want to know.
It's more. I think I mentioned it to you this morning in the.
You've already had it spoiled.
It's literally just to do with a flaw within that character, more to do with the second half. I'm just going to say it because it's probably not a big spoiler.
Well,
but he's
we haven't got a choice now.
he's a little.
Running roughshod over our
I
expectations.
don't know what's happening.
Incredible.
I know.
She's gone
How
mad.
dare I?
Bleep all
I'm
of
just
this.
like embargo. No, he's like. He becomes very two-dimensional.
He
in
dies
a way.
at minute 72.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, like I think I likened him earlier to the baddie in the first film, Nero. Like he's he's kind of like a reheated version of him in the end. And the whole idea of him is, whereas before Khan was this villain who he completely dominated the second film, you know, we saw him constantly. It almost became that like Kirk and Spock were cameoing in like the Khan movie. Now the baddie here is kind of like, there's not a lot of backstory to him. He's very mysterious. His whole threat is in the fact that you don't really know what his motives are or his ambitions are. But then he just becomes very two-dimensional, and there's this kind of he delivers these monologues that are just supervillain 101 monologue, and then at the end you find out a bit more, and that's kind of like, but
the last 3 films that I have seen Idris Elba in,
I think I was going to make a similar point. Well, I don't know actually.
The last 3 films I've seen Idris Elba in, it hasn't been Idris Elba's face.
Oh, I see. Okay,
I don't know if I remember him even having a face.
String of bells, just a big green screen.
I don't understand. I can't remember what he looks like, because the last things I saw him in were Jungle Book, Toy Story, and now Star Trek.
I thought you were going to say that he always uses the same voice, which is...
It's a good voice.
Oh, it's just boring.
No one moans at Tom Hanks.
Well, Tom Hanks sounds fun, though.
I think Idris Elba sounds fun.
I don't think Idris Elba's very good since The Wire. I don't think he's done anything particularly.
He is amazing in The Wire, though.
He's amazing in The Wire.
What about those Virgin Internet adverts?
But that's it. That's his whole character in most of his things. He's just like, yeah, good. I'm doing a big sort of threat.
I really want to go back to Luther, but at one point I got to
Luther's
it.
crap.
And I was like, if I see him put that coat on once more and put the thing up and then walk off.
I don't get it. Everyone's like, oh, Luther's so gritty. It's a load of people talking in nearly Cockney rhyming slang, like just getting angry at each other and then solving slightly grisly murders. Rubbish. Absolute bollocks.
Wow.
Or something good.
Well,
Star Trek Beyond, though.
Like Star Trek Beyond
genuinely is one of my favourite films that I've seen this year.
Holy
shit! It's so good. And there's this amazing scene that I think will be really divisive. People are either going to love it or hate it.
Don't tell us what it is.
I'm not going to tell you. No, of course not. But you'll know it when you see it. And I think that will go down in like sci-fi history as one of just the best.
What?
Well.
I'm excited about that.
Okay. Guys.
Oh God, no! Is the time?
Down. Oh, I see.
Well, our printer's broken, so I have to do things with a phone. I have to write stuff down.
Oh, no.
Guys.
Okay.
I've been away for a couple of weeks. I haven't been on the podcast.
Nope.
Which means you guys have had a respite from Keyword Countdown.
Keyword Countdown. Time for Keyword Countdown. It's Keyword Countdown. Time for Keyword Countdown. It's Keyword Countdown.
That's where the jingle goes.
Yes.
Excellent.
See, I didn't know that I was going on this podcast until like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And now I just haven't. I've not had the time to prepare mentally or physically or emotionally.
You're the only person who reacts badly to this section anyway.
Although to be fair, yeah, because Rory was meant to be on the podcast, then he dropped Alysia in at like 2 seconds before we came in.
That was going to be first versus second.
It was going to be first versus second. Now, unfortunately for Rory, well, I don't know what's going to happen. So here we go.
Sounds like
Oh no, you're actually starting. Okay.
Film number 1.
Oh God.
Oh, if you don't know what keyword countdown is.
Oh my God.
It is the first time you know it. Basically, IMDb has a load of crazy keywords for different films. So you have to guess what the film is by these crazy keywords. Are you ready? Film number 1. Undercover cop. Gang. Urban setting.
Scorpio.
Heist.
Serpico. That's what I meant.
This describes so many films.
Machismo.
Gizmo undercover. The Dark Knight.
Implied sex.
Implied?
What?
5-word title.
Oh my God.
5.
There will be blood. That's 4.
Heist. Oh my goodness.
The Town.
Always action
Town.
movies.
What undercover cop was in There Will Be Blood?
I don't know. That's the first long title I can think
He was
of.
long conning them. Undercover highwayman. Run car off-road.
Run car off-road.
So many movies.
Italian job.
The 9th clue. Auto shop.
What? John Wick?
Final clue. Illegal street race.
Fast
It's the very first Fast and the Furious, but you can have that.
I got a point.
Well done.
I don't want to play against you. It's actually worrying.
Holy shit.
I didn't like that at all.
Hopefully Dale has normalised that audio and your ears are all intact.
Hopefully he's deleted this audio
So
file.
sorry. Yep.
It's alright, you beat the
Volcanic.
best.
I'm not
You
even
beat the
sorry,
best,
though.
eh?
Fine, I
got-
don't mind losing
The
to
thing
that.
is, because that was on the final clue, I only got 1 point for that.
It's fine. I mean, you said Tokyo Drift as well, but it doesn't matter because it was the very first. The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
There you go.
So proud.
Film number
I don't know
2.
if you should be.
Film number 2.
Yeah.
Invasion.
Independence Day.
Infantry.
Independence Day Resurgence.
Violence.
Oh,
Vomiting.
Stormtroopers.
Full Metal Jacket.
Fear of death.
Oh my god, that's all films and my life.
Edith Piaf.
Ah, fucking.
Who's Edith
Ah,
Piaf?
Diane Young.
Le'Veon Rose. Edith Piaf.
Main character dies.
The
Oh,
pianist.
really?
Penultimate clue. Rescue mission.
Rescue. Fucking. Inglourious Bastards.
Final
Oh,
clue.
no, is it the one with the meat?
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Well done.
mission,
Well
Final
done.
clue was Normandy.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, Joe. Well done. Well done. Well done. You all ready for this? Oh God, what's happened to my phone?
What has happened to your phone?
Talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. I fixed it. Film number 3. Boy.
About a boy.
Friendship.
Love
Fox
Actually.
and the Hound.
Prejudice. Junkyard.
Junkyard.
Alien life form.
Super 8. And E.T. And.
Year 1957.
E.T.
I just said E.T.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Mac and me.
Eating non-food. I love that clue.
Eating non-food.
Because you know someone has written that and gone, there's a word for this, but I don't know what it is.
Non-food.
1957.
3-word title.
Why is this not working in my brain?
Penultimate clue.
It's definitely not Mac and me.
Pretending to be a statue.
What?
Fucking
Final clue. Robot.
AI.
Oh, Wally.
Oh, the Iron Giant?
The Iron Giant.
Oh,
Well done.
I've never
well
seen
done.
the Iron Giant.
I've never
It's
seen.
amazing.
I've heard it's brilliant.
It's so good. Oh, I'm going to watch that this weekend. Anyway, see you later. Okay.
This has been an underwhelming round so far. It's taken a long
Yes.
time to get things.
It's good.
That's
right.
great.
Nice.
Well done.
I like
This is
It's
him
good.
G'ing us up.
Because technically you're playing along at the same speed as everyone else.
That's true.
So I haven't worked out how to be able to do that. How to make it a decent game for people at home.
But that's it.
What?
What we're doing now.
I know, yeah.
It is a decent game for people at home.
Right now,
That's what
yeah.
I'm talking about.
But not when bloody people are guessing them first, second, third. Anyway, doesn't matter. Film number 4. The Future.
Back to it.
The Terminator.
Damaged Starship.
Oh,
Oh.
is it Event Horizon?
Alien Planet.
Alien.
Prometheus.
Lens Flare.
Star Trek. Into Darkness. Star Trek. The first Star Trek.
Base.
The Final Frontier. These are the voyages.
Fighting.
Fighting. Fucking hell.
Planet.
Eclipse.
Oh, God damn it.
Darkness.
Interstellar. The other one.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good guess.
Bald Man.
Is it Picard? Is it Star Trek one with Picard in it?
Goggles.
Goggles.
Firefly. Serenity.
Oh, Serenity was a good choice.
Who's got goggles?
I'm going to have to call it there, guys, unfortunately.
No. Can you run through the clues again?
Future. Damaged Starship. Alien Planet. Lens Flare. Space.
Must be J.J. Abrams.
Fighting. Eclipse. Darkness. A bald man.
The Force Awakens.
Pitch Black with Vin
Yes!
Diesel. Yes.
I've never watched that.
Well done. Another oneer.
So you literally flinch. I'm so sorry.
Done. You're going to attack me.
You are worryingly intense.
Well done. No, I like it. Because what are we without intensity?
Normal.
Robots.
Not scared.
Like the Iron Giant. All right. Here we go.
God.
Final film. Actually, I'll tell you now. except for this last one, what's the link
Vin
between all
Diesel's
those?
in all of
Yeah,
them.
well done. I'm not giving you a point for that.
No, that's fine.
This is the final one, and Vin Diesel's not in this, as far as I know.
Oh.
He's definitely.
You just do this in as the
He's definitely
rogue.
not.
I didn't know he was in the Iron Giant.
Yeah, he's the voice.
Is he?
Yeah. Martial arts.
Enter the Dragon.
Female martial artist.
Rush Hour 2.
Third part.
Rush Hour 3.
Sequel.
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Star died before release.
Oh.
The Crow 3.
Space opera.
Space opera.
Oh,
Based on TV series.
Serenity?
No.
13th part.
What is
Martial artist.
Sequel to a reboot.
Oh my god. Wait, Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond?
Yeah. I put that in for you, motherfucker.
I was going on martial artist. I was thinking of like a Karate Kid.
Don't get put off by the most obscure clue.
Unfortunately, because it's a new film, there's not that many keywords for it. And two of them were really shitters.
Wait, run through the clues again.
Martial arts.
Yeah.
Female martial artist. Third part. Sequel. Star died before release. So it's
Okay.
Anthony Elchin.
So yeah, although I
Space
think it was the
opera.
first two that really threw me of like martial artist and
Yeah.
female
Yeah.
martial artist.
Based on TV series, 13th part, sequel to a reboot, and the final
be
one,
fair-
Star Trek.
Yeah, I should have got it.
That is
Should
a
have got it
bad
on
keyword.
13th part.
There you go, Joe. You got 6 points.
Well done.
Alysia, you got 2
I'm
points.
happy
there.
with 2.
Fantastic. What an amazing round of Keyword Countdown. Hopefully, if I'm on next week, there'll be another one.
Who knows?
Ooh.
Let's see this ship of a podcast home with some feedback. Our printer's not working, so it's all in our phones.
So let's find out. I'm
Who's
going to
number
read
one?
one out.
Okay.
It is going to be this one from Dylan. Dylan Wynn.
Sweet.
Hi all, I have a quick question. Has Joe recently done a voiceover for a hay fever commercial? I
Yes.
think maybe Benadryl. I only heard it once and it was in the background whilst working, so I couldn't say exactly what it was, but his voice is so distinctive that I'm convinced it is him. I haven't, but you are the third person to tell me that
Really?
I've been a part of a Benadryl advert.
If you see that advert, come on, can someone record it? 'Cause I really want to hear it.
I want
Yeah.
to know what's going on. There's too many people who think I'm repping hay fever, which is interesting.
I mean, you should probably just get in contact with the makers of the advert. So if the guy gets hay fever and his voice goes one day, you can
That's
go
a
in
very
and
good
record
point.
for him.
Yeah.
I don't get hay
Although
fever,
he's probably
so I'm
got-
the
Yeah.
ultimate advocate.
He's probably got as much hay fever medicine as he wants.
That's true.
Very true.
Yeah, but what if it's drowsy and he falls asleep?
Does that happen if you do an advert? If you do an advert, can you basically guarantee that you'll have... Like, if I did an advert for wagon wheels, could I...
What an amazingly obscure thing.
Would that keep me in wagon wheels
No,
forever?
it wouldn't. No, absolutely
No?
not. No. Not unless you're an actual famous person.
But I would be because I'd be in the advert.
You wouldn't be that famous. Wagon wheels? What's that going to be on?
If I was doing a voiceover...
ITV tea time.
If I was doing
at
a voice...
best.
Hello, do you like wagon wheels? There you go. See? If I was doing that...
Sold.
Would you like a marshmallowy treat?
That was bloody good, that was.
It's like wagon
Sometimes
wheels were
with
very
jam.
complex.
Sometimes with jam. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes
jam.
they had jam in it. Yeah,
Marshmallow.
The blue ones had, I think...
Some
They were-
biscuits, some
They
chocolate.
were massive
I
as
never-
well.
They were really big.
Too big.
Too big, if
Or is that
anything.
because we were really small?
No,
they were just
they were
massive.
actually massive.
You're big old.
Bigger than
Jobbers.
a car.
But Dylan continues.
Oh.
Speaking of the old... I've skipped some stuff, so this makes no sense. Let's skip to this. Have you guys watched Stranger Things yet?
No.
No.
Oh, well, I thought you had. There's no point.
We were going to talk about it on this week's podcast, but I didn't have time to watch the first episode last
We
night.
won't talk about it in depth, but basically Dylan gives a very good potted summary of why it's good without giving anything away, so that's good. Blah, blah, blah. The show is impeccably well made with a strong cast, awesome visual style, and great attention to detail. On top of this, it's pretty damn scary. The intro encapsulates it all perfectly, and this is bang on. The Stephen King typeface brands the show in heart-bleeding VHS red with creepy John Carpenter beats and a little bit of old-school projector wobble. It's a love letter to the 1980s, the best decade, and not only pays homage to the era that defined the genre, but uses nostalgia to play with what you know and push its story beats a little harder. I laughed, I reminisced, and I shat myself.
Nice.
Winner!
Give this man a writing job.
Dylan
That's
is
amazing.
very good, and that is absolutely bang on. Like Stranger Things is taking over my every waking minute at the moment.
We'll
It's
talk about it on next
fantastic.
week's podcast. I think all of us would have finished it by
Yeah,
then.
and
So.
it is so far up everyone's street.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
it's incredible.
All right, let's race through these then.
Let's.
'Cause Joe's got to put something live at 4.
I gotta do some
Doesn't make
work.
any sense to you guys because God knows when you listen to this. If you happen to be listening to it at 20 to 4, that you know the kind of time we're up against.
2099.
Here we go.
If they're listening in the future, they look back at our covers and they see it's still there because that was the last.
You're
day
not,
of the
you're not
website.
helping. You're not helping. Tyler Downey writes in. He says, "Hello, everybody at the IGN UK podcast. I both watch and listen to your podcast as well as watch Prepare to Try, the best and most watched series on IGN globally. So there we are. And honestly, anything with you guys in it.
Sounded a bit chippy, to be
Well,
honest.
Wow. You all feel like people I can hang out with, play games, watch shows and movies, play Drunken Master with. Anyway, I'm interested in what drew you to video games. Video games are basically my life, and for me, it has always been about the escape. I want to get lost in another world, save that world, and almost live another life. I'm a lover of books, nerd, and video games allow me to be the hero, and this is what really draws me in. What do you love about video games? What makes you want to play them?
Oh, wow.
That's a much deeper answer than mine. I just.
I like it when there's men in them with nice asses that you can look at. Because a lot of the time,
you
it's
only play third-person games.
third person, and I can watch a man's buttocks move up and down as I make him do things.
Best
in a world.
third-person man buttocks. Go. Favorite ever.
Was it Wheelman with Vin Diesel?
What was the 50 Cent Blood on the Sand?
Oh, that's a
In
good
his
game.
Big cargo
That's actually a
pants.
good game.
It was legit.
I'll have no bad word said against that.
Never saying anything bad
Why
about
do you
it.
play video games, Alysia? Other than being a massive dweeb.
A massive nude. Aside from that, like I've talked about this before on the podcast, but it comes down to the way it tells stories. So, like, you know, I've always read books as a nerd. I've always, you know, watched films, even though Keyword Countdown does not actually suggest that. But like those two mediums, it's where, yeah, the story very much happens to you. And I love that. But with games, you are actually the propulsion engine behind it. And especially I love tree games where your decisions affect the outcome of the story. Just that sense of kind of, I guess, purpose to a game that I don't think you get with any other medium that's so unique to our industry. And yeah, it's really exciting.
I think I've got, and most of the people that I work with and know and are friends with and play games, I think we've got like a weird disease in us, which is just the love of playing. And it can be anything. It can be like, it can be Keyword Countdown. It can be like dicking about in a car with your mates. It can be anything. And I think if all my family have got it, like my nan, my auntie, my mum, they've all got it. Like that thing of just love playing. So it's like playing tricks on people or anything like that. And that's why I play video games, because I literally have to.
I just always have.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just been there always.
There we
Nice,
are.
Comforting blend.
Alicia, you've got an email.
I have an email from Matt Huggins, which is the nicest name ever.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
It does. But Matt Huggins says, being in my mid-20s, like most others in this age bracket, I grew up with Pokemon and have been eagerly anticipating the release of Go. On release day, I decided to have some drinks with a friend, and every now and again we would go on the app and have a go. It was loads of fun. Towards the end of the evening, instead of going to the next pub, we decided to have a wander around the town and see what we could find. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what felt like 100 people swarmed around the local church, all chatting and playing the game. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. We stayed out socialising with people we'd never met before, playing with them, and it was one of the nicest experiences I've ever had as a gamer. Long may it continue. Love all the team equally as much as each other. Matt Huggins.
That's awesome. I haven't had like a thing with randoms yet, other than the Pokemon Go thing that we did. I haven't been walking around and seen. I've seen people, but they've been by themselves, and
I think there's a quiet thrill to seeing other people playing when
it.
you are.
Yeah.
Being like,
Certainly, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
definitely playing.
Especially if there's like a cool Pokemon pops up nearby
Yeah.
and you want to be like, oh my god, you see an Eevee?
Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys on the run yesterday. Actually, the accountant guy we were talking about. He
The
said,
KGB accountant?
Yes, he said a Poliwrath appeared outside his building yesterday, and he couldn't reach it from his seat, but other people were talking about it. And he looked out of his window where it was, and he just saw like because he's right in the city of London, like big streams of people walking, but then just dotted around looking down from above, like little
that's awesome.
Like rocks in the current of all these people who were very clearly catching Pokemon around down there, which I thought was so cool.
That's really cool.
Like, just being able to see from above, like they're all definitely Go
The
players.
streams.
That's awesome.
It's like that bit in X-Men where you look at all the different X-Men in that massive, and they're all like there in streams around the world, and then it's like it's like you become Xavier and Cerebro looking out.
Matt Huggins' PS is quite nice as well. The next day I went with my girlfriend for a hungover pub lunch. That pub was a Pokestop, and we put a lure module down. One of the bar staff came over and thanked us after they asked us if it was one of us.
Aww.
You're like, that's really cool. It's just
awesome.
making people happy and nice.
What have you got, Joe?
I have got this. This one's also about me. Ahoy, ahoy, IGN UK podcast.
Ahoy,
I want
ahoy.
everyone to do ahoy, ahoy all the
Ahoy,
time
ahoy.
now. While watching one of the videos on the site, I noticed Joe looks quite similar to emo hottie Frank Iero from My Chemical Romance. Have I gone mad, or do you guys see it too? This is, yet again, someone who has been repeatedly compared to me, even though he's much sexier than I am and considerably thinner. But, my question... Anyway, I'm going to carry on. My question is, has anyone ever told you that you look like a celebrity? So, Gav, you've had Adam Buxton 1,000 times.
I get Adam, although I don't actually think I look like him
You
that
don't
much
look
at
that
all.
much like Adam Buxton.
We don't have facial features.
You don't have facial features?
No.
You like Idris Elba?
Similar, yeah. We don't have similar facial features. I went to New York Comic Con once and got stopped multiple times by people who thought I was Kevin Smith.
No way.
Really?
And then they were like, "Oh, are you Kevin Smith?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Oh, are you cosplaying as Kevin Smith?" I was like, "No, it's my fucking clothes I wear."
That's ridiculous. You
That's
don't wear
amazing.
hockey t-shirts and jorts.
I had a pair of shorts on and a hoodie.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I mean, the only similarity I can see is that you both have beards and brown hair. There you have exactly the same hair and beard actually in that picture.
Where at New York Comic Con, I was probably about that size. I'm pointing to a picture where he is considerably larger than he is now.
But you have always been considerably smaller than Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
he's a big man.
I think if you were at Comic Con and you saw someone, I don't know. There's a lot of people.
If you were desperate to meet
maybe.
Kevin
If you were
Smith.
desperate.
I mean,
who do people say you look like?
oh, I don't know. I don't. Also,
You do know.
Well, I do. Well, no, but it's in the same thread as Joe of I don't look anything like her, and to say that you look like her makes it just seem.
You're like, oh
like,
god, people say that I look like Naomi Campbell. That was the first model that I can think of, and it's nothing like it.
Yeah, I've had it a couple of times, which is incredibly untrue, that I look like Jennifer Lawrence, which is not true. So that's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I'm trying to
What was
think.
that
I'm trying to
noise?
think of times I've seen Jennifer Lawrence, which I look like.
No, she literally. I mean, yeah, very lovely, but not
Unlucky,
true.
Jen. You don't look anything like me. So stop telling people that we look alike, all right? Because it's bloody embarrassing. What have I got, Joe? What am I reading out?
I don't know.
You told me.
I did.
Brian Lewis?
You've forgotten it.
Brian Lewis?
Tyler and Brian. Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. Here we go. Brian. Duck Hunt. Hey guys, I recently attended Star Wars Celebration in London and had an amazing time. So did we. I met up with a couple of fellow Duck Hunters, really nice lads, and I bumped into Dan and Rory. Love the accent in person. And Joe, cheers by the way for taking the time to take a pit with me. Bit gutted I didn't meet fellow Welshman Gav though.
This is
this
the
is
guy.
the dude you talked about.
This is the guy who saw Cooper and was like, Cooper! And got a picture with him. It was like, oh, Rory! Got a picture with him and then went to me, you a presenter as well? I was like, yeah. And he got a picture with me. He's looked me up, so that makes me feel much better about that situation.
I like he was just like, are you famous?
I bumped into Dan, Rory, and some prick who looks like a My Chemical Romance
miscellaneous.
Can you sing
Miscellaneous
Spark
IGN
Pride?
man. And our final bit of feedback.
Our final bit of feedback is from the guy who you may have seen if you're part of the Duck Hunter podcast group. He's been posting these amazing drawings that are inspired by the podcast and prepare to try. So he did like
he the guy who did
a
the Turtle
turtle
of
Krupa.
Krupa? That's
amazing.
He's done Finchy.
So funny.
So he says, art is not my profession, but it's something I
Well,
love
it bloody
doing.
well should be.
Yeah,
it's
it
incredible.
genuinely should. Like, these are amazing. He says, art's not my profession, but it's something I love doing, and I was wondering if any of you have any hidden talents, hobbies, or passions that you'd like to share. I know Rory is in a band, and Alysia has been an extra, but it would be awesome to know if Krupa is secretly a cage fighter, Killer Krups, or if Gav has an affinity for ballet, the dancing dragon.
I make the best cup of tea
Oh.
that I've ever tasted.
Yeah, he
Like,
actually does.
I honestly, I love having tea made for me, but nobody makes tea as good as me.
You were showing off about tea this morning, even this morning.
Well, it's because I made a fantastic cup of tea.
You brewed it hard.
I brewed it real hard for our 15 to 20 minute video meeting.
I have no discernible talents, but
That's not
Krupa.
Yeah.
Well, Krupa is also a very talented artist, as referenced by your leg.
And he plays guitar.
Does he?
Yeah.
What?
He would have cleaned up at my school.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Art and guitar.
I know.
He's a proper
Pretty
catch.
cool man.
He is a catch. But there we are. Those are talents. What's yours?
They're not talents. I go swing dancing. And
you?
Yeah, I do. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. You swing dancing and
Do you have
rock
like
climb.
do you have a regular partner?
I go with my friend B, but and we do partner up sometimes because often there's way more girls than guys, so then you have to, and it actually makes you a better dancer if you can dance the guy part as well and know what it's like to lead, because it's it's a skill to be able to follow, but also just to come up with all the moves and choreograph is insane, and to link them together, and you suddenly realize how hard it is to be a guy and to string it together. So, but yeah, it's super, super fun because it's so bouncy, and there's this amazing move where give me your hand. To have tension in your hand, and then you pull back. Yeah, so you both pull back, and then you both spring at each other. So you pull, and then you basically pull.
What's that noise?
The person
No,
to
it
each
was
other.
it was a move that I'd never done with my body before.
Different
New
muscles.
experience.
Different muscles.
But it's amazing. So you both swing and change places super quick, and then snap, and then go into. It's really fun.
That is lovely. And what a lovely way to end.
Yay.
IGN UK podcast number 341.
Now time for a lovely cup of tea from you.
Yes, we might be back next week, or it might be somebody different. That's the good thing about this podcast. So,
And also the terrible thing, because no one can ever quite get a handle on their reality. What if we send someone spinning out into their own mind's abyss?
well, I'd rather not think about that, Joseph. So I'll just say adieu.
Bye.
Bye.